Like many children of 2007, I had a Nintendo Wii. It was my way to get away from school and life. I had all the games most kids had, like New Super Mario Bros. Wii, Mario Kart Wii, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and of course, Wii Sports. However, my favourite game wasn't of the Mario franchise, or any dollar store shovelware. No. My favourite Wii game was Pokepark Wii, Pikachu's Adventure. An odd choice, I know, but this game was practically my whole childhood. Now if you don't know what this game is, it's basically a game where you play as, well, Pikachu. The story is that you and your friends fall down a mysterious hole and the Pokemon Mew watched you. Mew then tells you that you must collect prism pieces, as the prism stone has been shattered into 14 pieces. This has caused a building called the Sky Pavilion to become withered. If the pavilion is destroyed, the Pokepark will be lost. You, of course, go on a fun journey to restore the prism stone in the Pokepark. You enter different zones and befriend Pokemon along the way. I loved every time I played through it, always finding new Pokemon to make friends with. I loved every Pokemon in the game, except one. Located in one of the 8 zones, the Granite Zone, was a single Pokemon I thought was different than the rest. Porygon Z. Porygon Z is the final evolution of Porygon. It has a round head with an almost duck-like beak. It has 2 blue round wings and a tail. Its head floats above the rest of the body. I never liked it. Its yellow swirling eyes and twitchy movement creeped me out. It didn't help that the room it was in was at the end of a long, somewhat dark hallway. Whenever I got to him, I hurried along fast as I could. You see, Porygon Z is a mandatory part of the game. You must find 3 passwords from 3 Pokemon, and Porygon Z is the last. In the game are minigame-like things called skill games. These consist of battle, a Pokemon battle, chase, whether you chase another Pokemon, quiz, where you're asked 3 questions about the Pokepark or a Pokemon, and hide and seek, self-explanatory, and obstacle hop, where you jump from one platform to another, and sometimes a Pokemon will attack you. Porygon's skill game was a quiz. Honestly, I don't really know why I disliked this Pokemon back then. I guess it was just me being creeped out by his appearance. Though I somewhat remember thinking he was insane, and that was why he was so far away from everyone else. The reason I'm telling you this is because about 2 weeks ago, I wanted to play the game again. So, I picked up a copy at my local game store. They have all sorts of stuff, from PS4 to Atari 2600. Hell, they even have a Power Glove. Anyway, I purchased a copy of Pokepark, eager to play it again. I wouldn't be typing this if that was what happened though. When I got to my house, I dug up my somewhat old Nintendo Wii, popped in the disc and pointed my Wiimote over the game's channel. Excitement rushed over me. I hadn't played it in such a long time, I was ready to experience it all again. The beginning was the same, nostalgia coursing through me as Pikachu hopped and dashed through the tutorial. I woke the Snorlax blocking the Meadow Zone, and dashed into the adventure. The whole game was normal from here, except for a few minor differences. Some stationary Pokemon seemed to be out of place. Bulbasaur was standing further away from his attraction sign than normal. Attractions are games led by a Pokemon. The story is that the attractions are being forgotten, and Pikachu must save the fun for everyone. Venusaur's idle animation was missing, leaving him completely motionless until I talked to him. I blamed the quality of the disc for these, and thought they were just bugs. After all, the game itself wasn't actually affected by it. The other zones showed similar results. At the meeting place, all the gatekeepers' positions were slightly off. Still, it had no effect on the gameplay, just a visual bug. Other than these occasional slips, the game was normal. I enjoyed replaying my childhood, despite the visuals being somewhat off. Things went this way until I got to the lava zone. Everyone was their normal jerky selves, but there was one literally large difference. Groudon was there. Now, Groudon was supposed to enter the game via code entered on the main menu. I'd started a new game and I'd never entered this code. Of course, I was curious to see why the legendary Pokemon was here at this point in the game. so I walked up to him and talked. His dialogue was different. I don't remember what exactly he said, but it definitely was not what he said here. The lava zone just isn't the same as it used to be, but soon, no zone will be safe. I was really confused now. Groudon definitely didn't say that before. I came here to protect myself and everyone else here, even the Pokemon in the cave zone. What was going on? I hadn't played in a while, but I was sure that Groudon didn't say this. That Pokemon? He's gone mad. He's gonna end the Pokepark before the Sky Pavilion does. I may as well enjoy one last battle. His normal dialogue to ask for battle appeared. Who was Groudon talking about? It seemed obvious now, but back then I had no idea. I tried to battle with Groudon, but having not upgraded my attacks, or even learned Iron Tail, he quickly made work of me. Heh, one last victory before our world is erased, Groudon spoke. However, unlike usual, he kept talking. Listen, Pikachu. No matter what you do, no matter how much I want you to, you cannot stop the one who erases us. Farewell and thank you. After this, Groudon walked away like usual. This was almost scary to me. This was not normal. What did Groudon mean by the end of our world? So many questions swarmed in my head just from this one encounter. I had enough for that day. I saved the game and turned off the Wii. That night, I had a dream about Groudon. Pikachu was in the lava zone. Groudon was in front of him. He almost had a worried expression on his face. Pikachu, we have to go. Now. The lava from the center of the volcano was quickly rising. I couldn't survive this, Pikachu, but you can't. Groudon picked up Pikachu and ran into the cave zone, struggling to fit through the entrance. Groudon was slow, and the lava was flowing faster and faster towards them. He's almost made it to the exit. The screams of the Pokemon being burned alive behind us made Groudon run even faster. The lava was even closer now. Pikachu started to cry. It seemed so real in the moment. Groudon dashed, the hardest he'd ever dashed, to burst through the exit and into the meeting place. All the Pokemon in the area screamed wildly at the sight of Groudon and the lava behind him. It was flowing at an impossibly fast rate now, faster than Groudon could run. It engulfed his entire body. Pikachu screamed louder than any other. They slowly faded out as Pikachu slowly died in the blazing lava. I woke up in a pool of sweat, breathing heavily after that experience. Slowly I realized it was just a dream. I had off from work today, and I was desperately wanting to see the conclusion of that game. So I booted up the Wii once again. The game loaded and I was back into the lava zone. Everything was normal again, until Blaziken made me fight Charmander. He told Charmander that if he lost to me, he'd get beat. I can't imagine that was in the original. Next, I went to the Haunted Zone. I dashed up to the mansion, eager to play through, since this is my favourite zone. However, when I got to the mansion, the front courtyard was empty. There are no other Pokemon but 2 Tangrowth at his attraction, and Drifloon guarding the front. No Gliscor, Raichu, Honchkrow, nobody. On top of this, the mansion's windows were smashed in. It was haunting to me, seeing everyone gone. At first, I thought Metapod and Kakuna were there. But on closer inspection, I found this not to be the case. Their former bodies were cracked open, as if they hatched out and evolved into Butterfree and Beedrill. That, even though they're cocoons, was disturbing. I talked to Drifloon, ready to move on from this creepy courtyard. Drifloon's dialogue was off, just like Groudon's. Please excuse the absence of everybody. They were scared off after he awakened. You want to enter the mansion? Well, I guess you can if you beat Tangrowth's attraction. Why was everybody speaking of him? What did he do? Even though it may be obvious to you, since I told you who he is. I had no idea. Regardless of all of this, I easily beat Tangrowth's swing-along, and then I entered the mansion. Normally, Duskull would greet you and show you around. However, he was nowhere to be found. Or anyone else for that matter. No Ghastly, Horner, Elekid, anyone. It was about here that I realized something. The closer I got to the Granite Zone, the worse things were getting. This worried me, and I thought about what terrible thing lied ahead. Moving on, the mansion was completely empty, except for Dusknoir, the attraction leader, and Gengar, only because he was trapped in a painting. I didn't have to repair the piano, or find Sableye's book. No. Instead, I simply had to free Gengar, battle him, and beat Dusknoir's attraction. After this, the pathway to Rotom opened. Now his attraction is different than the rest. It's a shoot 'em up game, where ghost Pokemon come after you. If a single Pokemon gets you, it's game over. I was never good at this attraction, and I never played it unless I had to. The game has a feature where you can jump right into an attraction. I talked to Rotom to get it over with. Once again, his dialogue box was different. This time though, it was even worse. So you wanna play, huh? Well, welcome to Rotom's spooky shoot 'em up. Send 'em packing or you die. Join us in our special hell. What had I just heard from this game? Did Rotom really just say that? Special hell? What did that mean? I didn't want to find out. I had to beat the attraction. Instead of making me have 85 friends, Rotom let me play immediately. I chose Gengar to play the game. Once I entered the game loaded. The countdown started. 3, 2, 1. And it started. Immediately. Horner and Ghastly come after me. It was terrible. Their eyes were missing their pupils. Ghastly's gas was much darker of a purple, and its mouth was dark crimson. Horner's body was a pale cyan color, almost like it had been rotting, suffocating. Its eyes had no pupils as well. What the actual hell was going on? I started shooting the ghost Pokemon as fast as I could, and they quickly started coming faster and faster. Then, Rotom's forms started to appear. They were all crimson, almost as if they were shiny. Except, their eyes were all black, with their respective colors. Instead of sitting idle, they also came for me. I had to shoot them faster than the others. It was then that I realized that the attraction will only end if I got caught. I didn't take any chances and continued to shoot. This was best I'd ever done in this game before. Suddenly, a Ghastly came up from behind me. I yelled in fear of what would happen, and it ended. The attraction was over. I got scared for nothing. After the victory screen, Rotom greeted me. You won. Congratulations. Next time though, you'll be greeted to our hell. Oh wait, there won't be a next time. He's gonna end it all. The game then put me back into the library. The Rotom room was closed off, and I didn't want to play this game anymore. I quickly saved and shut off my Wii. Later that night, I contemplated things. Could the game be a clever hack? Ordinary bugs and glitches were out of the question. Yeah, it had to be a hack. Even if it was, it scared the hell out of me. What guy would sell this to a small game store? In a way, I was curious about the story of the game. It felt like an alternate version of the story I knew and loved, though it pained me to see all my old friends tarnished like that. I wanted to see how it all ended. I then got the urge to play again. Turning on the console, once again, I prepared myself for the worst, as I entered the Granite Zone. The gatekeeper, Scorpy, was the only gatekeeper with different dialogue. Enter the Granite Zone. Ha! You've got a death wish. I guess I'll let you through. After all, he's gonna end it all anyways. That was to be expected at this point, so I dashed into the granite zone and gasped. The brick walls were covered in wires and had long, deep cracks. I could see nervous eyes hiding within the seemingly endless holes in the bricks. In a larger crack, I saw a Lopunny hiding. I walked up and talked to her. "What are you doing? He's gonna end you." "What? You're Buneary's friend." In this game, Lopunny's Buneary's big sister. If you came to save us, you've got something coming for you. Literally. I pray for you, Pikachu. After talking to the Lopunny, I walked into the next room. It was even worse. More wires dangled and ran out of the walls. The worst part though? The Pokemon. Oh god. The Pokemon. Charizard and Tyranitar had those wires running into their body, strapped to the wall. Or were they in the wall? Absol was buried in loose bricks. His attraction sign snapped in two. Dear god, I knew this was a hack, but it just seemed so real. Was it a hack? The stone turntable had been destroyed, its gears cracked and falling apart. The table allows you to move to different areas, so how was I supposed to progress? I thought about what to do for a while. Maybe this is where I was meant to end my journey. I hadn't actually tried to walk across yet, so I tried it. Turns out, I could actually walk on it. I could even jump to the area it wasn't pointed in. God, I wish the real game was like that. Exploring further, everyone was gone. Bronzor, Scurapy, Claydol. Even the Pokemon on the surface were gone. Flygon, Salamence, Aerodactyl, Jolteon, all missing. I assumed they were hiding too. I could go to the Flower Zone since it had no guard, but I needed to check one last area. I approached the hallway, the wires all leading down into a morbid database. Dashing down, I had no idea what to expect. Once I found him though, things got real. There, in that small room, was Porygon Z. All of the wires from throughout the Granite Zone were connected to a transparent machine, and he was inside of it. I didn't even have to interact with him before he started talking. "Ah, you've arrived. The hero of the Pokepark has come to save the day. How cute." What the hell was happening? Why was Porygon Z of all Pokemon evil? Haha, like what I've done with the place? No? Too bad. Soon, all of the Pokepark will be filled with the wires of Z. Oh, and about that Sky Pavilion, I'm gonna make it come crashing down. I knew I had to stop him, but how? Don't even think about trying to stop my renovations. I know you are. You're the type who stops at nothing to end evil. At this point, his twitchy animation was growing faster by the second. I dashed out there before something bad happened. I dashed all the way to the Flower Zone. It was too empty. Except for one. Rayquaza is an attraction. I dashed up and talked to him. "Little Pikachu, please, come with me. We'll get you to the pavilion where you'll be safe," and then he realized who I was. "You're not here to hide, are you?" "No. You're here to try and stop him." "I'm here to protect the Sky Pavilion in its already poor state." Porygon Z took all of the remaining prison pieces to power his machine. Then, I knew what I had to do. Somewhat because Rayquaza just told me what to do, but I realized it as well. If you really think you can beat Porygon Z, I'll take you up to the pavilion to meet Mew. Then you may have a chance. A cutscene not in the game played. Pikachu hopped on Rayquaza's back, and he flew up to the Sky Pavilion. Quickly I dashed to the very top of the area. Countless Pokemon were up here, hiding from the danger. As I thought, Mew was at the top. Another new cutscene played. Pikachu walked up to Mew. "Hello, Pikachu. I've been expecting you. I know I told you in your dream to find the prison pieces, but now we have a much more serious matter to deal with. As you know, Porygon Z has taken over the entire Granite Zone, and intends to do so with the other zones. Pikachu, do you know his true intentions? A yes or no option then appeared. I recalled all the talk throughout the game about ending it all, but I still didn't know how. I chose no, and Mew explained. Porygon Z wants to expand his system of the wires of Z throughout the Pokepark. Once he's done that, there's no way to stop him. He will delete the Pokepark, and everyone in it, including us. Delete the Pokepark? How? Why? Mew continued to explain. He wants to create his own Pokepark, one where everything is different, and there are his own Pokemon. He wants less attractions, less games to play. Worst of all, he will rule. This was all so much. Still, it didn't explain what happened in Rotom's attraction. The cutscene ended, returning us to a regular conversation. So, Pikachu, are you ready to try and save our friends? Another yes or no option appeared. I thought about it for a little while, but Pikachu wasn't strong enough. I clicked no and Mew responded. Right, your attacks aren't strong enough yet. Here, I'll take you to the meeting place. Mew took me to the trainer Pokemon. Do as you must, Mew said. I'll wait here. I had so many berries that maxing out on my attacks was a breeze. Rapidash increased my dash, Primate taught me Iron Tail and maximized its power. Electabuzz was charged up with the power of Thunderbolt. Bibarel raised my HP to the limit. Now, I was ready. I talked to Mew. Pikachu, are you ready to save our friends? This time I chose yes. Alright, I can't guarantee we'll come back alive, but we must do this. Mew teleported us straight to Porygon Z. He immediately saw us and started to twitch. Welcome back, Pikachu. I see you've brought Mew along with you. Did you really think that he could stop me? Mew turned to face me. Don't listen to him. We can do this. We must. Then, Mew transformed into Arceus. He wasn't even in the game. Porygon Z looked baffled. Such a cheap move, Mew. Just for that, I'm gonna end you sooner. As for you, Pikachu, prepare to witness my power. Suddenly a battle started. No countdown or anything. Mew spoke. Aim for the wires. I turned to a large wire that was blinking slightly, as to tell me it can be attacked. I quickly used Thunderbolt. It struck the wire at full power. A health bar appeared over it. I had knocked it down to half HP. I used Iron Tail to finish it off, but Porygon Z stopped me. Not so fast, he yelled, as wires slammed into Pikachu, knocking my HP down a quarter. Mew then used a move I hadn't seen in the game before. I think it was Judgment? The meteor-like fireball slammed into multiple wires in Porygon Z. The wires were instantly taken out, but Porygon Z was unaffected. I dashed back up to my wire and used Iron Tail, breaking it in two. Just a few more left, Mew shouted. He used Judgment again, and I used Thunderbolt. We took out the last of the wires, and a cutscene quickly played. We turned to Porygon Z, him twitching violently. Fools! You cannot stop my perfect world! Then, he busted out the machine. If you want to prevent my future, then you have to get through me. The battle resumed and Porygon Z had 2 full health bars, indicating that he had a lot of health. Mew tried to use Judgment, but Porygon Z quickly shot him with an attack resembling Psychic. I took this chance to dash attack him, and it hit. His health was only reduced by a tiny bit. Your pathetic attacks can't faze me, he shouted. Then he hit me with a tri-attack. The fire hit me. My health reduced another quarter. The electric, another quarter. The ice, yet another. My health was dangerously low. Mew used Milk Drink, but on me. My HP was restored fully. Porygon Z looked annoyed. You're simply delaying the inevitable. Just die. Then, he used Earthquake. I can't even remember if you can learn that. The room split in two, leaving me and Mew on different sides. It didn't matter though. I used Thunderbolt, my long range still hitting Porygon Z. His health dropped significantly lower, just over half of his first bar. Then, the room started to shake. Then it collapsed. The screen went to black. I was confused at first, but realized that the earthquake must have been just too much for the old structure of the Granite Zone. Slowly, the screen faded back in to show me and Mew pinned under large stone slabs. Porygon Z was still standing, but his HP was down to just a sliver. The first health bar had disappeared. "Fools, fools!" he shouted. "This is what happens when you play with fate." He kept rambling, but Mew spoke to me softly. Use Thunderbolt." Porygon Z didn't hear. I attacked one last time, and it hit him like a truck. The rest of the room came crashing down, and Porygon Z was crushed by the rock as he shouted, "This isn't the last you'll see of me." The rock tumbled down onto him, completely burying him. Then, the camera panned up, showing a chunk of falling ceiling. Mew, now back to his real form, whispered, "We did it." Then the screen cuts black as the sound of falling rock one last time played. The disc ejected itself. This experience hasn't ruined the game for me, and I still love Pokemon. I even still have that disc. Though I can't help but wonder how this game was created. I guess I'll never know. All I know is that, in a way, Porygon Z did get his alternate Pokepark. And recently I've gotten the urge to play Pokepark too. Thanks for sticking around to the end. And if you enjoyed today's story, make sure to leave a like. And if you want more like it, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss a story. If you need more now, why not check out my Pokepasta playlist? I'll leave that on this card, and I'll catch you in the next story.